Hey, good day folks. Today we are looking at a pair of Jaycar 5-inch Kevlar coaxial speakers with silk dome tweeter. This one is rated at 50 RMS, 4 ohms, frequency is 80 to 20 kilohertz, and then it's got the other characteristics of the actual speaker. Frequency range, that's important. Obviously the 80 Hz to 20 Hz. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. So I suppose if you had a subwoofer that's running from 80 Hz down, you can always use the speakers. And this is what they look like. It's got a Kevlar comb. It does have a silk dome tweeter, and they came with all these little wires as well. That must be the crossover. They must be using something pretty good. I have actually tried this on the bench. They sound pretty good for what it is. Jaycar Response is one of those speakers that are sold by Jaycar Electronics in Australia, and it's one of those companies that sell electronics products, speakers. It's, I suppose, taking over from the old Dick Smith Electronics brand that was around back in the 70s to late 90s, or even up to 2000. But this one comes with a swivel tweeter, as you can see. You can move them around, and I suppose if you put them on the doors, you could always aim it probably towards the center of the vehicle. That's how you actually aim it. So towards your dome light or something like that, if your dome light is on the center of the car. But these speakers sounds relatively very good. It's got a nice depth to the mid-range as well. And the tweeters are very pleasant to listen to as well. Given on your air unit source, you could always arrange the sound frequency to your liking. If the tweeters are too bright for you, you can always put it down. But I personally have found that silk tweeters are very pleasant speakers to listen to. But I suppose everyone's different out there, and you might prefer a titanium tweeter to the silk tweeters, but that's my personal choice. But these speakers are a 5-inch from Jaycar Electronics. Mounting depth, you're looking at probably about 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches. Because of the crossover, the only thing I could see is when you do decide to cut the holes, the actual capacitor is sort of very tight, so you might have the hole has to be probably cupped a little bit bigger just to accommodate those capacitors on the side that actually runs to the actual tweeter. So they could be 12 dBs since it's got two. Normally a 6 dB one, it's just got little capacitors on it. So and it comes with a grill as well, which is pretty good. You can watch it on, and that's pretty good. But here we have the Jaycar Response Kevlar. I think this was a release back in the late 90s to 2000. But if you ever come across one or you see one for sale, I highly recommend you pick them up. They were not very pricey as well. So it's basically it's a good speaker, provided you give it good clean powers. It'll give you years of service. Here we are. 5-inch Kevlar, silk dome tweeter. Power rating is 50 RMS, 4 ohms, and frequency range 80 to 20 kilohertz. And that's the actual catalog number, CS2401. So there you go, folks. The Jaycar 5-inch Kevlar coaxial speakers with silk dome tweeter. Highly recommended if you do come across it. I suppose these are actually made in China, so they could be a copy of something. As we know, look, the Chinese are notorious for copying, and they've been copying for years, and actually it served them well, and now they're one of the countries with the highest healthiest economy. Thank you very much for looking at my video. Do make a comment if you know somebody who has used it, or you have used it yourself. Maybe there's bigger sizes on these ones as well. It goes up to 6x9 size as well, so they're relatively pretty good speakers. I mean, for the price you pay. And yeah, feel free to comment, or if you use something, another similar 5-inch speaker, and you know, just list your experience you had with that, or and then we can probably I can write to you back if you have any comments. Thanks for watching my video.